Does Dominik Mysterio, involved in another match with his father, Rey Mysterio, at the year after WrestleMania, feel like too much, too soon, or too far away?
I think it's perfect just because I like it. I just love that. I just love the Dom versus Ray. I love how much Dom gets booed anytime he mentions his dad. And if they want to shoehorn him in here a week before, you know what? I'm fine with it. Does he fit into this whole story? No.
Overall, kind of, but it feels like it's kind of out of left field, even though they share the last name. They had the excellent match last year, and it's like a forever, never-ending feud. But for like a historical standpoint, I like that it's back-to-back years. It
Yeah.
just feels like it's microwaved way too much to kind of get us there. I like what they're microwaving for the future, though. Just feels like we've missed a chapter or two, though.
Yeah, skip some steps. And this story with LWO and Legado has been going since, I mean, what? Over the summer?
November, yeah.
It's supposed to be Carlito and Santos at Survivor Series, and that didn't happen. And it's just been dragging out here for a long. I guess it really started with the Saudi show when Santos cost him the title.
Yeah, you had tea leaves before that, but that's pretty much when the turn happened.
Yeah, so it's been a long time, and I mean, this shoehorn and Dom in here, I don't think ends this feud. I think it makes for a fun match. It'll be a good moment, but as far as like the feud, this is going to keep going.
Yeah, I kind of wanted like a Mexican cartel war type of thing instead of the Philly street fight with the Final Testament and AOP and all that nonsense. I kind of wanted that here. I felt that it could have been more funny. You have more bodies, you have more history. Neither feud are like super hot, but I guess this one's a little bit more lukewarm opposed to the Final Testament. That's like, well, that's for another day. But overall, it just feels kind of out of left field to me, even though there's plenty to kind of sink our teeth into, you know?
Yeah, I'll enjoy it. And I think we got to ask ourselves is Dom right? Like, is Ray a bad father and a bad leader of the LWO?
He's a bad leader of the LWO.
He constantly switches out his partners. There's no loyalty. He's got these dudes that have been fighting for him. He's like, you know what? I do have a partner, and it's Dragon Lee, and everybody's fine with it. So, you know, is Carlito finally going to say, hey, I keep getting skipped over here? Do we see any interference? What do you think, Ryan? Like switches, there's going to be all kinds of chaos.
Yeah,
but
I think we'll see some dirty tactics. I think the boy got a little chap on his ass from his dad whipping it last year, and he wants to correct that wrong. I think that perhaps he has outgrown his current position in the Judgment Day, and I feel that he wants to go on to greater pastures and perhaps maybe lead a natural gang. I'm not sure who, when, or what it's going to be called, but I don't think it's going to be Legado. I don't think it's going to be the LWO, but perhaps I think that it's going to be something with Dom. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't think it's going to be the Judgment Day either.
I think he's definitely, I think he's outgrown like the errand boy of the Judgment Day. So I do think it's time for him to, I don't think the Judgment Day lasts much longer past Mania.
Yeah. And I think that he's in a really good spot. I think he needed the Judgment Day. I definitely think he's outgrown it. Rhea's kind of outgrown him, and they peaked with that stuff a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it's a big transition WrestleMania for all the Judgment Day members, but most specifically for Priest, Dom, and Rhea. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious what kind of Finn and JD are up to. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of veer off into a tag team, and then maybe we'll see if Finn resigns or whatever those rumors are. But yeah, Judgment Day is definitely interested, and this match is actually tied into it. All right, let's talk Santos before we go to the mass superstars on the left. All right, what's up with Santos? He I don't want to see, feels like he's aimless. I don't know if he's the biggest part of this feud. I don't know if he kind of had more hopes coming out of the breakaway from Ray. Projection-wise, he's kind of like at a 6 out of 10 when you figured he could or should be higher.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was treading water from that Mysterio injury. I think we were supposed to get a lot there, and Ray was out with the surgery, and they just kind of waited. And I think it cooled down the whole feud, cooled down the story, cooled down Santos, and he's just been waiting. And I assume that this was probably going to be a one-on-one Santos and Ray at WrestleMania. Now they're just throwing it into a tag, and that gets pushed down the road. And I wouldn't be surprised if Santos gets the come up over the summer.
I just don't know what I do with him. I don't think he's like a top tier guy. Yeah, sure. Could he be a USIC guy? Perhaps. I don't know if I wouldn't think he's bad, but I don't think I call him very interesting really right now. I think he's good in his role, and he's just fine to me overall. I'm just indifferent really for the most part.
He fits in. He's where he should be. So like there isn't that conversation, and so it's not the excitement of or the anger of, oh man, this guy needs to be higher, or why is this guy doing this? He shouldn't be doing something this important. When it's just like this is exactly where he should be. So like that emotion isn't into it. It's just yep, this is what it should be.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm curious where he is at WrestleMania 41. If it's the Andre or if it's something similar or perhaps a little bit more higher on the card. I really couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
No.
All right, so the babyface side of the things. LWO. Anything with the Carlito thing? Is he just have deadpan face or was that on purpose?
I almost feel like he has to because why? If not, they should just release him because he's not doing anything. He's just there. He's not doing Carlito stuff. He's not having massive matches. He exists. And if you want that, you've got the other two LWO guys who can actually go in the ring. If you just want a guy who's there, who's a body. But if you can get into that character of Carlito, that bring back the Carlito Caribbean cool part of it, where he's a cocky, but just like Rey Mysterio's chum is kind of odd. It doesn't really fit. It doesn't seem to work.
Let's bottle him for a second. Dragon Lee. This is the second time he's replaced. Even though Carlito wasn't announced, but to Carlito, it could be the second time where he has taken a spot from him. Second time you've been a part of that preview also. So I'm curious.
This is where my lane. I'm right in that same spot.
Yeah, you're kind of the Carlito Dragon Lee spot, interchangeable.
Mid-card Matt.
I love it. But yeah, I'm curious. I think Dragon Lee has more upside than Santos, even though I think Santos perhaps is a more complete package for a WWE roster at this current time. Of course, Dragon Lee could establish himself to be something much more. But I think Santos has a little more upside right now, but I think Dragon Lee's ceiling is super high. I'm just not sure.
I think Dragon Lee's got a high floor too. I mean,
that's what I was gonna get to.
Think how long Sin Cara was cashing checks. Just that guy is a spot on the roster. And worst case scenario, and he could really blow up. We haven't seen too much of the personality yet on the main roster.
I'm not sure if there's much there though. That's what I'm
that's what's hurting that ceiling. Santos has the personality.
The masks helps. Dragon Lee, I think, has a lot more in-ring charisma, and Santos Escobar has a lot more outside of the ring charisma. So both excellent wrestlers in their own ways, but it's I don't know. If you were doing a draft here, which one would you take?
If I'm doing a draft?
Yeah, if you're doing a draft and it's on you and you have to pick between them two.
I'm going Santos, but if I have all four of those guys, I'm taking Dom.
Okay, right? Yeah. All right, Rey Mysterio. He doesn't really have much leadership qualities to him.
No, he is a poor leader of the LWO. He has not done well.
I'm sure he's a good father, but as a leader of men, I don't think he's naturally his thing. Of course, he's a Hall of Famer right now, and I believe he signed a new contract. Don't quote me on that, but I like him in this role. This is, his third WrestleMania in a row, and mid-card each year, but it adds to the depth of the card. He does a lot. Him working with Logan Paul gave Logan that shine. Him working with Dom last year, and that was fantastic for Dominik. So now we're here a year later. Rey Mysterio definitely adds a lot of. He doesn't add sexiness, but he has a lot of star power and equity to this match that he can spread it to Dragon Lee and, of course, his son and Escobar. So, of course, there is still a role for Rey Mysterio, but I'm just really not necessarily interested in Rey Mysterio these days.
It's the crowd's excited to see him still. You can put him in a match like this that, I mean, really at the end of the day, it's not selling tickets. It's not stakes. Yeah. But when it comes out, you're like, oh, cool, Rey Mysterio. You're happy, and it's 10 minutes, and I mean, the dude's almost 60.
He may be, right?
I have no idea. He's been doing it forever, and he's not what he was, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, of course. He's like legit in his late 40s, early 50s, not maybe even. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right. We know this is night one, so that steals my gimmick. Out of 10, how excited are you for this match?
I think we keep saying it's right in the middle. It's 5. It's we want to sex it up and try and make it more than it is. But I mean, if you told this card got pulled for time, if this match got pulled for time, I don't think either one of us is upset. Where it's like, oh, it is what it is. We'll catch it on when they put it on SmackDown next week. When it comes on, will I go to the bathroom? No.
If I had to, this would be the one.
Yeah.
All right. I feel Dominik gets his WrestleMania win back against Rey. What do you feel?
I agree. I think that Dom gets that win. He pins his dad, and then he can crow about it forever. And you can build to the third match where that's it. If you do the hair versus mask or career or whatever it may be. Because I think that Dom's going to be a heel the whole time Rey is active, and it's going to be like an on-site situation for those two until Rey's retired. Yeah, and then eventually I think once Rey's retired, they want to turn Dom face and need to have Rey come back and say, oh, they mend fences and have the big hug. But as far as like active, I think it's on site.
All right, if Dominik Mysterio were to veer off and do his own thing, who's the most interesting to kind of isolate himself with? I'm going to throw some names at you. Andrade, Carlito, either C-level tag team, Humberto and Angel, or Wild or Del Toro. I have a kind of low-key wild card, but I mean,
of that list, I think Carlito is just like the heavy that, I mean, if Carlito's not going to be in matches, but he's like at ringside disturbing and, attacking guys for Dom. I think that works. I think having the quicker, faster luchadors in there instead of him probably doesn't work great.
How about outside the box, pie in the sky? I know these are your favorite. What if it was Ricochet and Dom had him work within to kind of crack the Judgment Day?
So brings him in as like a mole to bring down the Judgment Day?
No, Ricochet leading on Monday Night Raw this whole month, took down every member from the Judgment.
Mm-hmm.
What if that was a way for Dominik to kind of just have him come and crack the Judgment Day, so Dominik can come and steal all its equity and all its prize and its jewels, and he can steal the legacy
clubhouse and cardboard.
Yeah, he can steal the legacy of the Judgment Day, and Ricochet was his foil to distract McDonough, which distract Finn, which distract Priest, which pissed off Mommy. And he did it with a straight face. And it's a half-baked idea, but I can see Ricochet being that shiny toy to kind of come in and be Dom's equal. And then you can add in Carlito and Andrade, and that's kind of Dom's little group.
I mean, it would be interesting.
It's interesting.
I kind of have to wrap my brain around it.
I think he's foil for it, but I think something interesting in a pie in the sky, and why is we have those building blocks? Let's make us kind of swerve thing type of thing. But that's that, Matt. We'll see. It's pie in the sky.
I'm sure it'll be mid card, so it'll be something I'll do a preview with whenever it happens.
You have a lane, buddy. And where is that lane? And where does that lane fall on Twitter? Matt Ferrell Comedy.
Yeah, at Ferrell Comedy. I got my reviews on there, and I am part of the top 40 countdown. Did John Cena and Kevin Owens, so check that out, and all the other preview videos that may or may not have matches that happen in.
If this one get canceled, we're gonna have to have a discussion. All right, Matt. Thanks, buddy. See you on the next one.